on the lecture exam, not on the lab test. And we do want to make sure that you have that information to study. So here. And all right, so mitosis. So what things can we ask on the lab test about mitosis? We can ask you what? We ask you the phase. Can I ask you a phase question? Name the phase, is that correct? Right? Can I ask you about the cleavage furrow? Yeah. Can I ask you about the spindles going across, the mitotic spindles? Good. And I can also ask you about the chromosomes. You have to identify the chromosomes, correct? So let's have out our lab review at the same time that we're looking at all this, so we're not guessing. And you feel comfortable. Any questions on any of that? On any of those particular things at all? Any questions on mitosis before we jump away from it? Is there anything on there? We're all okay? The stuff over the weekend? Hands are up? Yes? Question? Yes. See it?
I was actually can you just like give a about the propane? I couldn't really see the slide really well, even when it was.
This, okay, that's a good question. Let's, you know what I'm gonna do? I've got some extra slides that we didn't, I think we might have looked at them. I'm not sure if we did or didn't. So this is a good time to bring those up, and we'll make sure that you see that. I forgot we got a neighbor tonight. He used to lecture next door to me every Tuesday, Thursday. I miss him so bad because he's starting to teach online now, so he's not in the classroom, but this is his class meeting for one of their orientation sessions, I guess. So, but he has such a wonderfully loud voice. It's awesome. So we have to kind of like close the door. All right, so here is the, like I don't have a loud voice, right? Here's some good pictures right here. Let me get my little projector going. Here it goes. And let's see here. Let's see if we could answer these. Here's some extra mitosis slides. This is good practice. I think you already have access to these too. You might have them in a different file, but I think you have access to these as well. So these are a few more mitosis pictures, right? And you were asking about prophase, is that correct? All right. So prophase is when you just can't see defined chromosomes. You're not seeing this look like what you're getting here and here. And let's just look at all these and see if we can just sort of name them. So what if I point at this? Are you guys seeing this okay? How's this look okay back there? Okay. And two, on the practical, we've got these extra chairs here, and if you are just like, oh my God, the back of the room's terrible, how am I gonna see these things? Don't panic, because we're not gonna turn off the light. What we'll do is just these, you have to have your lights on back there to be able to write on a piece of paper. So if you need to, we can always take these two chairs and move you all forward if you're really having a hard time seeing. So let us know that if you're having trouble. Okay, so here we are. Here's our different cells. Here's three right here that we can easily identify something going on inside of these cells, right? So I pointed at this, right? We're looking for, what's first of all, name these structures. What are these structures here? These are the chromosomes, the dark staining structures, right? We do need to know that, so we see that. And they're all lined up in the, so it must be? Awesome. All right, so here we're seeing that distinct line of chromosomes now looks like they are doing what? They're separating, okay? When they separate and move to opposite sides, or they move away from each other, you think about an A word, which would be?
Anaphase.
Excellent, okay, good. All right, now this one here is the one that's kind of gives you a little heartache here because you're just not seeing, you see some type of materials that look like chromosomes, but they're certainly not in any arrangement at all. Still seeing a distinctive nuclear membrane. So the nuclear membrane is there, so now we're guessing prophase. Is that okay? So what do you see that one okay there? So that's probably a good guess, and that would be the one. The nuclear membrane's pretty much, it's still intact, you know, and that would be my guess on that one. Okay, then got another one here, and now we look at all of these again. You know, we're not seeing any slide here with any distinctive metaphase, anaphase. Are you seeing anything distinctive there? I'm not. I'm still seeing some nuclear membranes here. I see some movement. This looks like a centriole here. Not that you would have to ever say that, but I mean, and look at this over here. Not seeing any distinctive anything, but I'm still seeing a nuclear membrane certainly intact there. So most of these look like they're probably what? Prophase, excellent. Okay, and this one is up online too, kind of helps you walk through that with the answer keys so that you can see that. Okay, now we got more cells here. And of course, I'm going to be pointing at one. This one's already being pointed at here, which is convenient, not really, but we've got one pointed here. So if you had to say the two lines are pointing at what? Phase of mitosis. Definitely metaphase, okay? That's a metaphase picture, good. So we're looking here, and I still see a nuclear membrane. So what are we seeing here? Prophase, good. So does that help the nuclear membrane intact? Really should help, good. All right, then the last one that we're getting up to here, oh, isn't there? Well, that's not helpful. All right, here's my mitosis medley. I like this one better even. And these are similar slides right here. Same ones, except for here to the upper right there, and now we're seeing something different happening here, right? So if you're looking at the two here, these slides, to me, these cells already look like they've already are starting to, can you see that the membrane looks like it's formed completely, like it's breaking them apart already? But it's highly likely that they're still not fully apart because, can you see the spindle fibers still there? Good, okay, the spindle fibers, I can't, I have my little pointer there, but let me see if I can give you my arrow here. Here they are right here. You can see definite spindle fibers here. You would never leave those cells connected in cytokinesis. They should be all split up and over this business now. So this is kind of like a, yes, it's forming, but the telophase is definitely in motion here, don't you think? Wouldn't you guess the telophase on this one? Nice cleavage furrow here and here, but definitely a telophase event, okay? So how's that? Feel pretty good about that? So could I use these slides and you would be just hunky-dory with them? Good. And always read the question. It never fails. That here's what happens. So you're nervous, so you don't even look at the question before you start just, okay, 33, prophase, I got it, right? Okay, well maybe that was right, but over here, you start answering telophase, but all I really wanted you to answer was these fibers that were in between the two, which would be the what's? The mitotic spindles, right? But you've already written down telophase and you're already moving on. Right? And you don't even, so now you just didn't get it right. And of course it's all about structure, naming the structure rather than the what? Phase. Just look for those words, right? Structure versus phase, and you should be able to get it. Okay, so good. So we feel good, pretty good about that, hopefully. And so we're moving into, let's do our cancer thing and then we'll come back to this and talk more about, of course, all of our histology pictures. But let's do our little cancer study. Now that we talked about mitosis and you're really pretty good about that, and of course it will be on the test. Let's think about this cancer. And I gave you a really good handout on cancer, which I really like. Anytime you get a handout with my notes on it, it means this. Newsom is moving quickly. And this is my favorite topic, and I hate to move quickly, but we need to make sure you feel comfortable for your lab test. So let's talk about cancer because it does follow mitosis very, very well. Because if I could tell somebody what is cancer, right? Cancer is cell division out of control, okay? Cell division out of control. And I think I kind of mentioned this a little bit on last Wednesday night. Remember when I told you that we get these beautiful mitosis pictures where we've got cells dividing and we have, remember I drew them like this? What were these stupid things on either side of the cell? Just centrioles. And then we said they had what coming out of them? See, I can draw stupid pictures and you know what I'm drawing. I love it, right? Okay? Okay? And this is you, right? Just kidding. Just kidding. Okay. So that is a silly picture, but that's exactly what it is. And of course we drew it like this. When they were all here, you'd say it's what? When you say that's what? We should all know this one together, right? Because they're lined up in the middle. It's what? Metaphase. Awesome. So we're cool with that. We said what happens in cancer is that cancer is cell division out of control. Okay? Unregulated cell division. It's the best thing to call it. You know, cell division we said was for two purposes. We said it was for growth, right? Because we all started out as one cell and now we're trillions of cells, right? So it's for growth, and it's also, what was the other thing that we do mitosis for? Repair. Like when you dug out your cheek cells, right? Your little cheek had to say, oh my gosh, right? The little parent cells now have to have little daughter cells and replace all of that mess, right? All that gunged out stuff that you did, right? So When it gets unregulated, unfortunately now tissue is there that doesn't belong there, and sometimes the tissue grows in two different ways. It grows in a checked way, not completely out of control. Sometimes it even has a little capsule around it. Think of see something with a capsule around it. It's hard to say, like, so you know what a capsule would be, right? You understand that, right? So the tissue is contained, right? But in other cases, the tissue grows like it's growing into other stuff. So now you've got tissue that doesn't belong there growing into tissue that does belong there. And it almost grows like tendrils. It's hard to say, like roots. And it grows into places it can't grow. So if you're a surgeon and you are doing exploratory surgery on somebody who has suspected cancer, what would you rather see? Would you rather see that growth, that tissue contained in a capsule, or would you rather see it where it's all growing little roots into things? And now,
Contained.
yeah, okay, definitely contained. Okay, I'll never forget when I was in dental school, we got to see a lot of surgeries, which was pretty cool. And we watched the surgery of a surgeon was opening up a gentleman. It was the most amazing thing. He was having horrible, horrible headaches. And they put him, they put him in traction. And so he would hold perfectly still, of course. And he was leaning forward, he was sitting up, leaning forward. He had him in traction, skull. And they opened up a piece of the back of his skull because of these headaches. They knew the location, and they needed to biopsy some tissue. And when he opened it up, I'll never forget the look on his face. And we were like looking at the back of his brain. It was amazing. And you could just tell that the surgeon was disturbed. And apparently it was somebody that he knew, which I just can't imagine working with somebody you know, just like amazing. But the tissue, he could even tell the tissue differences in the brain, that it had become in that kind of an infiltrative type of way. And he tried to take some tissue and for biopsy purposes, but then he just closed him up. And I could just tell that it was a very sad situation for this young man. So you just don't want that kind of cancer. And cancer, of course, has touched so many lives. This is a good handout, but it's not a complete handout. If you have a specific type of cancer concern, either in your family or a neighbor or somebody that you know, then I would definitely recommend the two websites on the second page of your handout. There's cancer.org, which is a good, helpful thing. Cancer.gov is your strongest website because that's the National Institutes for Health that has a good way of understanding. But also, the American Cancer Society is also a good place, and that's at cancer.org. So those are good places to go. Cancer, when you hear the word cancer, it can be leukemia. What's leukemia? Cancer of the what? Blood. Okay? It can be bone cancer, it can be breast cancer, it can be prostate cancer. These cancers don't act the same, and they don't do the same. So the word cancer is almost kind of so encompassing, it's very, very hard. But we can give you some generalizations, and that's what this handout does. It gives you generalizations to understand it. So how does a cancer start? And is the word cancer really the appropriate word to use? It's not. Most often we use the word tumor or new growth. New growth is the word neoplasm. Okay, new growth. And that just is the same word as a